I'm Fast Lawyer, and today we're doing something a little different. We're going to do a guide, and this is the 10 beginner tips for Green Hell VR. So 10 beginner tips that I think are essential for beginners to get a good start to this game. So once you get a good start, I think this game will become a lot easier. This game might seem very difficult at first. I myself died a lot in my first couple of playthroughs, and that was because I really didn't know what I was doing. So tip number 1 out of my 10 tips is be aware of your surroundings. Do not run. So if you run across the jungle, you'll realize it's very dense, and you can run into a lot of dangers and not even realize it. So be aware of your surroundings, look closely, listen, and that will allow you not only to avoid dangers, but also spot the materials that you need for this game. So this is a survival crafting game, so one of the important things is to be aware of your surroundings so you can spot them, so you can spot danger. And once you see danger, if you're in immediate danger, knowing your surroundings, you can know, should I fight or should I run away? So tip number 1, know your surroundings. Do not run. You really only run when you're in immediate danger and you need to get out of dodge. So tip number 2, coconuts. Coconuts are very important in this game. And they're so valuable for so many reasons. So as you see here, I have a coconut here. And I have several stones. So let me get the crafting table out. I had a little stutter there. I hope they fix that. Occasionally I get stutters. Let's go ahead and set that up. Okay, now we got our 2 stones. So one of the things that you'll need to know is that you can make a stone blade by getting 2 stones in your crafting table. And once you do that, you can get the outer portion of the coconut out, and then you can put it in your backpack. So put that in your holster, put the coconut in your backpack. Now I have water. Coconut not only gives you nutrients that you need, for your hunger, but also gives you clean water. And it's one of the best sources of waters that you can get. Oh, this is decayed. I don't want that. Ooh. And again, pay attention. Be aware of your surroundings there. I almost ate that banana, but I noticed it wasn't really something that I should do. Stick, you want the stick. Small stick, you want small sticks. Now, you really want to go for normal size sticks or large sticks early on, because those are the mats you'll need. Unknown mushrooms. Once you set up your camp and you set up your save, you can experiment more. You can take more chances, but early on, try to avoid taking chances. You want to go down the path that is pretty safe. So tip number 1 was be aware of your surroundings. Do not run. Running consumes energy. You might run into danger. You might run over an anthill. You might run into a snake. So yeah, just don't run. Pay attention to your surroundings, and look for coconuts. Number 2, yeah, coconuts. Coconuts very important, and yeah, I'll mention a little bit more stuff that you can do with coconuts a little later on in this video. But yeah, number 2 is coconuts. Number 3. Find the best place to set up camp and build. See, this is an anthill. You want to avoid it. Be aware of your surroundings. And you also want to be looking for any items that you might need. This is very important here. Unknown fruit. So unknown fruit, this is not one of my tips, but unknown fruit, if you find it, eat it. You got 6 carbs and 8 hydration, very good. And then the other 2 you can put in your backpack for later. So number 3, best place to camp so you can set up your tent. And you want to build your shelter so you can save this game. Is that a capybara or... Okay. So anyways, yeah. I'm going to show you the best place that I believe for beginners when you're first playing this game is to set up camp, but that's not the only place. Once you're more advanced, you can find other locations that are better, but this location I'm talking about is great for several reasons. One of the big reasons is because of mud. Believe it or not, mud. Yes, mud. Small stick. Small stick's not that important, but I'll take it anyways. Unknown fruit will take... 16 carbohydrates, 8 hydration. Again, be aware of your surroundings. You know you're going to need rope, so there you go. Anyways, let me focus on number 3. I said find the best place to set up camp and build your small tent. And you can build a hut or a small tent. And I recommend the small tent. The reason for that is that I believe, and I might be mistaken, but this is what I've read online, that the small hut you'll lose sanity there. You'll get worms there, and you'll lose sanity. So, yeah, you don't want worms. Well, very important here. This Brazil nut, again, being aware of your surroundings. We found this nut very important. We want the Brazil nut. Very important item. Stick, again, normal size stick is better than the small stick. But there's the shelter. I believe that's the best spot for small stick. Like I said, the small stick, not that important. And you want small sticks or large sticks. And if you can find a bone as well, very important material. But we found the tribe village. So this is the spot that you want to set up your camp. And like I said, there's mud here. Mud is a very important building material. Don't pick up the frog. That's not one of my tips. But yeah, tip number 1, be aware of your surroundings. Tip number 2, coconuts. Coconuts. Look for coconuts. They're very important. Tip number 3, find a good place to set up camp and build towards your shelter. So, like I said, there's the small shelter or the hut. I recommend, even though the hut's easier to build, I recommend going for the small shelter. Okay, so yeah, it kind of sucks that you have to use mats, a lot more mats here to make this materials that you'll need to harvest and whatnot. But in the long run, it's much better. So you get the burned backpack here. So tip number 4, we're trying to set up camp and all that. Focus on what's important.
At least what's left of
you might be tempted by this to go looking for this place, but don't do that. You might be tempted, to go to find out all about this, but don't. Make sure that you have your essentials, that you set up camp properly. You don't just want to run. Here's a log. By the way, one of my tips, item stack. So here's the logs. You can stack them. So several items that you can't put in your backpack do stack. And so be aware of that. So very important. Helps you out in building your materials. Palm leaf stack. Very important. Okay. So I mentioned focus on the essentials. That's food. Tip number 4. Food, water, fire, medicine, your sanity. So those are all important. 5 goes along with 4. Know where those materials are. So right now I need long sticks. So where would long sticks be? Okay. So these are, like I said, these are normal sticks. Let me see. Small stick. So small stick, not really helpful right now. You don't want to spend a whole lot of time getting those small sticks. I mean, if they're just there on the ground, go ahead and get them, but don't spend an inordinate amount of time with the small sticks. So, if they're on the ground, just, go ahead, pick them up real quick. But you want to focus on sticks and long sticks. Those are the ones you want to focus on. And I hear a little hissing sound. I think that's from the iguana. I don't think we need to worry about it. Here's a bone knife. So, yeah. So this looks, like I mentioned earlier, no focus on the essentials. So right now we need to build this shelter. And this looks like we can use our little stone blade that we made earlier with our crafting. And we know we have a good chance of getting those long. Just by looking at it, we could just tell that we have the long sticks that we need here. Okay, the rest I think are just normal sticks. So we can put our little. There's another long stick here. Good. A normal stick. And I'm mostly just getting rid of the normal sticks just because get them out of the way so that they don't interfere. Okay. So it's dusk right now. We almost need to sleep, and we're going to cut this. Hopefully we get a long stick out of this. Yes, we did. Okay, again, very important. We still need 2 more. Oh, we need 1 more. No, 2 more. We still need 2 more after this. And I think that's the last thing we're gonna do before we go to sleep. So, tip number 4: focus on the essentials. Tip number 5: recognize where you get those materials. So, you're gonna have to get palm leaves later on. We're gonna have to look around and be able to spot palm trees, and it's no big deal, dude. We got lots of stones, so that's just why we got lots of stones earlier on. We can just drop it and drop this stone right here, and then we can get out our little crafting table. Okay, and then quickly we can make another stone blade real quick. And we want to do this before it gets too dark. And this will be the last thing. So this leads me to my next tip, which is know your status effects. So we talked about focusing on what's important. We focused on the status, knowing where to get the materials that you need for these essentials. And along with that is knowing the status effects. So knowing, when you're hungry, when you're thirsty, knowing when you need carbs, knowing when you need fats, knowing when you need protein, knowing when you have those, what do they call them? Parasites, and take them off. So knowing when you're poisoned, knowing how to deal with rashes. So recognizing the different status effects, and that includes being sleepy. So that takes me to my next tip number 7. Tip number 6 was no status effects, hunger, thirst, needing protein. By the way, this watch will help you out in that effect. So right now we're pretty good. But it is getting late at night. So we go to tip number 7, sleep. So tip number 7, go to bed at night in a bed. And if you don't go to bed at night, you'll fall asleep on the ground and you'll lose sanity. So this is how you go to sleep, by the way. And so we're going to wake up early in the morning, 3:57. That's okay. We can continue getting our mat. So right now we want to focus on rope. So I don't know how much rope do we have. I don't think we have that much rope. I think we're going to need to get more. So our rope, we're done with the rope, so we're going to have to get 3 more ropes. But luckily for us, rope is not something that's difficult to get. It is early in the morning, so it's still pretty dark. But we're well rested. We can look at our status effects, and we can get a little bit of food before we head out. So let's click on food. And... oh, sorry. Click on food. And we can get a banana. We want to make sure it's good. Look at it carefully. Don't get a... and we can get the unknown fruit here. There we go. Eat that. And yeah, I think we're good now. We can get the match that we need, which is the rope. It's kind of dark. We can build a torch if we want right now. Even though, let's go ahead and do that. Well, you know what? No, that's going to take too long. Let's take a chance. Let's go ahead though and build an axe, a stone axe. So again, we get out our little thing here. We want the tools, stone blade, torch, bone knife, coconut. Oh, by the way, coconut biden. Going back to rule number 2, coconut biden is very important. That lets you transport clean water. And with the coconut shells, you can set them on the ground and they'll collect water. And you can also boil them and put water in them, dirty water, and it'll clean the dirty water. So coconuts are very important for that reason. Okay, anyways, let's go to building the tools that we need.
Lambda 2. Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, so right now it hasn't... okay. So, yeah, it doesn't tell us how to do the stone axe, but I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you guys. So, a little bit of a spoiler. Get out your crafting table. Okay. This is very, very simple. And get out your backpack. You want to get your stick. Again, stick. This is why I say stick's very important. And you want to get your stone. We got lots of stones, remember? And that's it. So yeah, very simple stone axe here. Let's go ahead and use this versus using our stone blade. And let's go look for those ropes. We need 3 more ropes. And here, some bananas. You can go ahead and eat the bananas here since we got some in our backpack. And then you can store the rest. But once it's a little more light out, we can start looking for those palm leaves. But for right now, we just want to focus on getting rope. So this shouldn't take very long. We only need 3. Okay, let's go over all the tips. So tip number 1, be aware of your surroundings, do not run. Tip number 2, find a good place to set up camp and work on building your small tent. Again, you can also build a small hut, but I think the small tent is better because with the small hut you can get worms, and you don't want that to happen. Tip number 3. Actually, tip number 2 is coconuts. Coconuts are important. Tip number 3, set up a good place to camp, set up your tent. Tip number 4, focus on the essentials. Tip number 5, know what materials you need for those essentials. Tip number 6, know the status effects and how to counter them. So far we haven't gotten any leeches, but this is how you look for leeches right here once you get some light out. This is why I say sleep at night, sleep in your bed, What was that? Tip number 7? Yeah. That's why it's very important. Because at night, you get those leeches, you're not going to be able to find them. You're going to have to get a torch out. Right now, we don't have a torch, so sleep in your bed at night. There we go. So now we go on. Tip number 8, know which item stack. So find the palm leaves. Okay, this is a palm leaf right here. So again, like I said earlier, be aware of your surroundings. And okay, so now we get them to stack. We basically do this. Oh, okay. Never mind. We need rope. We don't have enough rope to stack them. But that's fine. We can leave them on the ground for right now. Another thing is, when you see leaves on the ground, look for kindling, because you'll need that for the fire. So that's very important. Earlier I didn't know what materials you're needing, but that's a trap. So, unfortunately, I made the mistake of trying to stack items without rope. You need rope to stack items. But that's okay. There's plenty of rope here. Just lower it down a little bit. But things are pretty good. You know, we don't have any bad status effects. We're pretty good as far as water and food. We might want to eat a little bit of a fruit right now. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. Okay, that should be fine. And I believe this looks like a palm leaf. Okay, there we go. We're getting the palm leaf stack. Oh, come on. Why doesn't it want to stack that right now? There we go. There we go. It only attaches a certain amount of numbers, so beware of that. If you can no longer attach them, that means you've reached your maximum. I think we've already reached our maximum. But obviously you can do both your left and right hand. So we've got plenty of palm leaves right now. So let's go back to the base. And we want to get more palm leaves because obviously 26 is a lot. So tip number 8, stack items when possible. That'll make your building a lot easier. You don't want to be going back and forth with only one of these palm leaves. You want to get as many as you can. There's a lizard that's running away. And then you just set them on the ground. Then you press trigger to detach. And you just, take them obviously 2 at a time. Boom. We got a leech. Perfect. So look for the leech. Right here. There we go. We got rid of the leech. So, yeah, again, like I said, be aware of your surroundings. No, we don't want that. We want this. Okay. So stack items. Tip number 8. So we go to 9. Tip number 9. Build a spear. So getting a spear is very important in this game. And I'm going to spoil it for you guys. The way you build a spear is you want to get a long stick. Want to get some rope. And you want to get one of these items. Either a stone blade, a bone, or obsidian. Now, in my opinion, the bone spear is the best spear. It's got nice amount of damage and nice amount of reach. Now, obsidian does more damage, but it's got less reach. So, in this game, you want to avoid damage as much as possible. And by getting the stone or the bone spear, it allows you to get into these combats at a distance and avoid damage. Oh my god, come on. Some of these are quite funky. No, okay, there we go. Okay, okay. Now we're going. Now we're gaming. And tip number 10, go for headshots. So when you get your spear, and we can actually make a stone spear right now. I believe we have all right. So let's go ahead and let's do a stone spear. Ideally, you want a bone spear. In fact, let me quickly see if I can find a bone real quick. I also know where obsidian is, and I'll go ahead and spoil that for you guys. Sometimes there's a dead. I don't think I found a dead. Well, you know, they're not. You get different spawns, so you don't always get the same things. But just so you know, over by that waterfall, there's some skulls and there's some obsidian there usually that spawns. So again, the spawns are random. It's not always there, but you might find some obsidian there. And look, unknown fruit. 16 carbs, 8 hydration. Just what we needed. We're going to eat all 3 of them. But we still need fat. We'll still need protein. So that's not enough. That's carbs, but that's not fat and protein. That's what we really need right now. Now, keep in mind, I do have a coconut and a nut in my backpack. So that's something that I can probably get either protein or fat from. So, yeah, it looks like we struck out. So let's go ahead and do our stone spear. So tip number 9, make a spear, either stone or bone spear. And let me go ahead and get these materials out. So this is a long stick. This is something that you need for the spear. So let's go ahead and craft. Get our crafting table. And let's get our coconut out. Let's get our coconut out. Because it's been... Oh, this is a Brazil nut. Same thing. We also need... Where's our coconut? Didn't we have a coconut here? Did it disappear? Did I already use it? Oh, no. Here it is. So we're gonna clean it up. And we're going to lay it out here. And it'll collect the rainwater. Okay, so again, coconuts are great for that reason. So we're going to get 2 stones. We're going to make the stone spear. The stone blade, I'm sorry. This is why I collected so many stones earlier. You see how often we use the stones. So that's 1. Oh, threw it away. Put it here. Okay. Make the long stick. Okay. Okay, and rope. So we got our stone spear. Pretty cool. So now we got a really good weapon. And we could put that in our right shoulder spot. So, yeah, pretty cool. So we still need... By the way, don't pick up frogs and kiss them. Let's go ahead and let's... with our stone spear, when we face enemies, we want to get headshots. So that's tip number 10. So those are my 10 tips. And I think I'll end the video here. Let me go over the tips one more time. So tip number 1, be aware of your surroundings. Do not run. You only run in the fight or flight situations if you're not going to fight. Number 2, coconuts. Coconuts are so important. Like you said, right now I'm collecting rainwater. Later on, you can build a fire and you can put dirty water in it and boil the water and make clean water that way too. Tip number 3, find the best place to set up the tent. Here we're setting up this small tent. This allows us to save, and we're going to save in a situation where we got plenty of food and in the best situation for us. Tip number 4, constant focus on the essentials at first. So food, water, thirst. Look at this to know what you need. But food, water, thirst. Number 5, know the materials that you need. So again, long sticks, palm leaves, stones. Know where to get these materials. Number 6, status effects. Know your status effects. Know when you're at leeches. Know when you're losing sanity. And know how to counteract those. These are all in your little book here. Believe it or not, this Molinera plant, very important for making bandages. Tobacco, very important for anti-venom properties. So, again, know the status effects. Number 7, sleep at night in a bed. I laugh because on my Let's Play video, you saw me running around in the dark. That's not a good idea. Tip number 8 was stackable items. Know which one's stacked. Tip number 9 was creating the spear. And tip number 10, headshots. Go for headshots. Those are all my tips for beginners. And I think once you get these tips, it'll be much easier going out, doing these quests. But like I said, make sure when you save that you're fully stocked up and that you have plenty of food, clean water and food of different types. You know, you want proteins, you want fats. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. This has been my 10 tips for beginners for Green Hell VR. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.